Hello everyone, and I hope you are watching all the videos. And this video that I am making today is actually the important points जो आपको मतलब जानना है landscaping में. Okay, so I'm going to discuss about some of the important points in landscaping. So we will discuss some of the important points. So in landscaping there are so many points, okay, that we can go in detail. हम detail में मतलब बात कर सकते हैं, but it should come in your syllabus. Okay, but there are some points also जो आप ignore नहीं कर सकते, और ये as a agriculturist या फिर as a horticulturist आपको याद करना है. Okay, you have to remember. So there are so many points. Okay, बहुत सारे points हैं, बहुत सारे important points हैं जो आपको याद करना है when you are doing landscaping. And then आज हम लोग कुछ points में हम लोग discuss करेंगे, और उनमें से एक है hedge. Okay, hedge. So you can see here the picture. So picture के द्वारा ही आपको समझ में आ गया होगा कि hedge क्या है. ये मतलब fences है. It's a kind of fences or boundaries. Okay, it's a kind of fences or boundaries formed by closely growing bushes or shrub. Okay, so this is actually ये जो definition है यहाँ पर is a simple dictionary definition. Okay, जो आपको dictionary में मिलेगा, you will get it. Okay, so just keep in mind, this should be very clear that hedges is what? It is a fence or boundary formed by closely growing. जो closely आपने plan किया है bushes को या फिर shrubs को, वो है hedges. And how they grow? They grow like this, like you can see in the picture. Okay, so like you can use bushes or shrub and even low growing trees of like not that long, okay, long trees, but short heighted trees. Okay, आप मतलब पेड़ भी यूज़ कर सकते हो, जो small varieties है, you can use that also, वो भी यूज़ कर सकते हो. And then like continuous screen में, okay, and then it will spread and it will continue like in the picture. So that is called hedges. So and then this one जो like hedges है, okay, it's not only used in like landscape area या फिर your veranda, or even in parks. Okay, parks and like what I'll say, place where people used to go for jogging and all. So वहाँ पर ही ये hedges नहीं होता, but you can use it in many ways. Okay, and then like you can use it even in the walk path also, like you see the second picture. Okay, from side there are hedges. Okay, and then you can even use it by the side of the roads also. So and apart from shrubs and trees, okay, so what I have mentioned, bushes or shrubs, and even I have mentioned and this one trees. Okay, जो short heighted trees है. Okay, so you can use, but other than that, अगर आपके पास ये material नहीं है तो आप ये भी यूज़ कर सकते हो. You can use the other plants like what? Other plants like cactus, succulents and subshrubs. You can use this, इसको भी यूज़ कर सकते हो. Okay, as a creation of useful hedges. और इंडिया में, okay, like are usually planted as fence. Like in India, people they use hedges as what? In their compound. Okay, compound में they use it as fences. Fence की तरह use करते हैं. They create like fences. Okay, like they use hedges, okay, to create fences. Compound of house and enclosure to screen undesirable spot and to protect cultivation. Cultivation को protect करने के लिए भी you can use this. Like even the like rabbits or even rats and all, like maybe it will it can avoid, like it can help from protecting, okay, by creating these fences. And then it can even create boundaries. So it can even make like a screen type. okay, like partition. Okay, so if there are two houses, so how you can differentiate, how you can create boundaries? You can plan this one, you can plan hedge. Okay, so these are some of the important points that you can memorize and you can remember, क्योंकि ये मतलब ये एक ऐसा point है, ये एक ऐसा मतलब what I'll say important point that cannot be ignored. आप ignore नहीं कर सकते landscaping में. So its utility, जो इसका utility है, it act as a boundary for the garden. Okay, garden, जो आपका garden है उसमें भी आप boundary लगा सकते हो. कैसे? इसको लगा के like this one, hedges को plan करके. Okay, and then it even help to separate one component of garden from another. Like suppose you can even create boundary in between, and then you can plan flower garden. Okay, in another, then after flower garden, then you can create the boundary. Then after that, in another field, you can plan what? Vegetable garden. So you can create that also. You can separate it by planting hedges. Okay, and it even ensure the privacy also. Okay, by providing the screening. Okay, privacy भी provide करता है. And they are even planted to create landscape effect. जैसे मैंने बोला, in landscaping, this is one major important point that you have to remember, because it create landscape effect. Okay, suppose if you are in some area, like suppose if you are in a field. Okay, if you are in a field, मतलब खेत में हो और वहाँ पर मतलब जो like where you there should be water, right? irrigation channel, right? अगर वही नहीं रहेगा, so what's the use of the field? Like how you will water it then, right? So it create an effect to the field. So same thing even here also, hedges, it create a landscape effect. Okay. And then hedges are planted, you can see here it's green in color, like I have shown the picture of green hedges, but you can even plant flowering hedges also. Okay, flowering hedges, and it can give fragrance to the environment. अच्छी खुशबू होगा, like if you plant the flowering hedges. Okay. So this is about the utility of the hedges. And then it even have a very special characteristic, because you can even propagate also. आप propagate भी कर सकते हो इसको. Okay, and it is very easy. It should be easily propagated by what? By cutting or seeds. Okay, I hope you understand what is propagation, and I hope you have learned about propagation, vegetative propagation, right? Vegetative propagation, like sexual propagation, right? I hope you have studied all this. So it can be propagated by what? By cutting or by seed. And it should withstand drought. This is one more characteristic, कि it should withstand drought. जहाँ पर मतलब बहुत कड़क धूप है, like it should withstand, it should like have the characteristic to tolerate. It should have the characteristic that it can tolerate the heat. Okay, tolerate करने पाए जो drought condition है. And it should not attract reptile and other animals. Okay. And then it should be of thick growing. Okay, thick growing होना चाहिए. So, and then yeah, one more thing, the ornamental hedge, जो ornamental hedge है, it should be free from thorns. This is one like characteristic that you have to see. जब आप varieties को choose करते हो planting करने से पहले, आपको ये बात याद रखना है. You have to keep this in mind that जो आपका ये है, जो आपका plan है, like which you're gonna plan as hedges, it should be thorn free. Okay, there shouldn't be any thorn, और मतलब जो plan है उसमें कांटे नहीं होना चाहिए. Okay, so yeah, and then it should also withstand frequent trimming and pruning. See, hedges, it should be like this. So ऐसा नहीं कि it shouldn't be equal. Okay, otherwise it won't look attractive. So to make it attractive, obviously you have to do the trim करना पड़ेगा, okay, pruning करना पड़ेगा. So it should withstand that also. It should tolerate that also. ऐसा नहीं कि when you start cutting then it will start withering and start getting dry and all. No, ऐसा variety choose करो जो withstand करे, okay, which can withstand. So और इसके भी classification है, okay, classification, and then like we will discuss more about it, about its classification, okay, for in the further classes. So classification में भी there are so many, okay. So for today we will learn till this one, utility and their characteristic, and then we will discuss more about its classification. So about its classification, okay, so the hedges are planted to protect the area. Obviously this is one classification, okay, this is one characteristic, okay, that you have to remember कि मतलब ये plan किया जाता है to protect the area and to avoid the trespassing by man or animals. Like it when it create boundaries, so obviously no one can enter from there, not even the animals or the like any human being, okay. So it is also mainly developed to beautify the boundary, okay, to beautify the boundary. It is also planted of what, of different height. इसके भी मतलब अलग अलग height होते हैं, they are of different height. Therefore according to purpose, ये आप पे depend करता है like what variety, what classification of hedges आप plan करना चाहोगे. So some of the classification are like tall, okay, tall protective hedge, dwarf protective hedge, and then tall ornamental hedge and dwarf ornamental hedge. So in tall protective, जो tall protective hedge है, okay, it's about 1 to 3 meter, okay, it's about 1 to 3 meter, and growth is very dense along with thorns. So this is one point of a tall protective hedge. So we will see it more in the next slide with the picture, ताकि आपको और समझ में आए. तो this one with the image, with the picture, we will learn more about the classification of hedges. So as you can see in this slide, it is a classification, okay. So I have given the example of tall protective hedge and dwarf protective hedges. And under the tall protective hedges, the height is about what, 1 to 3 meters, and the growth is very dense, okay, it has a very dense growth. ऐसा नहीं कि जो ग्रोथ है एक तरफ से मतलब डेंस है, एक तरफ से मतलब थोड़ा बहुत ग्रोथ हो रहा है, नो, बट ऑल टुगेदर दे ग्रो इन अ बंच, ओके, बंच में ग्रो करते हैं. एंड देन yeah, along with the what, with the thorns, even the thorns, okay. So like this, so like thorns, okay, कांटे जो होते हैं, तो इसमें ग्रोथ होता है along with the branches and the leaves together grows what, the thorns, okay. जो like what I'll say, जो hedges है, tall protective hedge जो है, जिस जो variety है जो plan करते हो, there are some variety that have thorns also, जिसमें कांटे भी होते हैं, okay. So even those also they grow together. So example like what, example like Carissa caronda and Bougainvillea species and Acacia farnesiana. So this one तो I think it's very familiar to you, जो Bougainvillea species है. So this is about a tall protective hedge. And when we come to dwarf protective hedge is like जो dwarf shrubs होते हैं, okay, dwarf shrubs which maintain to about 1 meter, okay, 1 meter, and may or may not have thorns. किसी पे thorns है, मतलब किसी में कांटे हैं, किसी पे नहीं होते हैं, and are protective in nature, okay, they are protective. So example are like euphorbia, ओके, यूफोर्बिया इसको मतलब कॉमन नेम जो इसका है इट्स क्राउन ऑफ थॉर्न्स. और उसके बाद ओपोन्शिया क्लावाडियोडिस. ओके, एंड अगेव अमेरिकाना. तो here I have mentioned Agave americana and Opuntia. So this is the two classification of tall protective hedge and dwarf protective hedge. Now we'll come to the next. And now we'll come to the next slide that talks about the tall ornamental hedge and dwarf ornamental hedge. तो जैसे प्रीवियसली हम लोगों ने डिस्कस किया था अबाउट द टॉल प्रोटेक्टिव hedge एंड ड्वार्फ प्रोटेक्टिव hedge. और एक ये भी रीज़न है जो इसको प्रोटेक्टिव hedge बोलते हैं क्योंकि उसमें कांटे भी होते हैं. ओके, बट इन ड्वार्फ लाइक स्पेशली जो टॉल प्रोटेक्टिव hedge है, but in dwarf like in some plant thorns are there, कांटे होते हैं या फिर कहीं में नहीं होते हैं. And here when we talk about a tall ornamental hedge, तो इसमें प्लांट ग्रोथ होता है 1 से 3 मीटर्स टॉल. ओके, 1 to 3 मीटर्स टॉल. और इसके अट्रैक्टिव फॉलिएज होते हैं या फिर इसमें कलरफुल फ्लावर्स होते हैं, लाइक यू कैन सी हियर इन द सेकंड पिक्चर ऑल्सो. ओके, इट्स ऑर्नामेंटल hedge only. ओके, इट कम्स इवन हियर ऑल्सो. जो टॉल ऑर्नामेंटल hedge है, ओके, यहाँ पर भी यू कैन गेट कलरफुल फ्लावर्स. ओके, colorful flowers from the hedge sometimes. And like example, Lawsonia alba, Duranta plumeri, and then Duranta goldiana और lantana camera. okay, इसके lantana camera का मतलब जो dwarf ornamental है उसमें भी आता है ये category, but there are short and tall. So in tall, lantana camera is also there. Hibiscus, bougainvillea, okay, etc. तो this come under the tall ornamental hedge. और जो dwarf ornamental hedge है, जो height है इसका, height of the dwarf hedge is about कितना 60 सेंटीमीटर to 1 मीटर. 60 सेंटीमीटर से लेके 1 मीटर. तो जो tall है कितना है उसका 1 to 3 मीटर और dwarf का है 60 सेंटीमीटर to 1 मीटर. ओके, और इसके भी बहुत अट्रैक्टिव फॉलिएज होते हैं या फिर फ्लावर्स. एग्जाम्पल यू कैन सी लैंथना कैमेरा हियर एंड इवन फाइलेंथस निवोसस. सो दिस इज अबाउट द क्लासिफिकेशन ऑफ द hedges.